Welcome to Dogsthorpe Infant School Launchpad.
This is your captain speaking. We've been cleared for departure.
Okay, Eddie, start the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Eddie's Launchpads. It's the Dogsthorpe Infant School podcast for parents, teachers and schools. And oh wow, it's our festive Launchpads. I can't believe it. I don't know how I'm going to do this, folks, because it's going to drive me mad, I'm sure, with all the editing. But we're going to have 2 episodes a week, one on a Monday, one on a Thursday. So you've got something to listen to over the weekend. And then after the weekend, there's something to listen to through the week. So there's 2 episodes per week. And this series of episodes are all going to be about the school itself. It's not going to be about guest authors and things like that. It's actually going to be things that are happening in school, sometimes about Christmas, things that are going to happen in 2026, which we're all looking forward to. And so let's kick off this wonderful series of episodes with our first guest. Christmas is a wonderful time, isn't it? That's what the song says. It is a wonderful time of year, and we love it. We just love it. We love getting together, our families, our friends. We like enjoying spending time together, whether we be adults or children. It doesn't matter. It's just a very special time. That's great if you've got money. It's not so great if you're finding things rather tight financially. And then it gets more difficult. Because you see, whilst we can cut back, it's a bit difficult for our children, isn't it? Because they love to unwrap presents. And there are some families living in Peterborough who are struggling financially, and some of them are finding it hard to even find a nice toy for their child to open. And to tell us all about it, it is a joy to welcome onto our launchpad Natalie, who's going to tell us all about this exciting thing that maybe you may not know. So welcome to the show, Natalie.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Dave.
Could you say a little bit about yourself and how this wonderful scheme started?
Yeah, so my name's Natalie Stars-Hudson. I work for North West Anglia Hospital, which includes Peterborough City Hospital, Hinchinbrook Hospital and Stamford Hospital. 10 years ago, so this is the actual 10th year anniversary of the Giving Tree. 10 years ago, I was in a slightly different role at the hospital. I was in a children's safeguarding role. And a chance meeting with someone from the community, and actually she was just waiting to meet someone else, and I got chatting to her. And she was working with some particularly vulnerable families in the community in Huntingdon, those living in extreme poverty and really, really struggling in all sorts of different ways. And she invited me along to an event that they organise weekly called the Grub Hub in Huntingdon. And it's where their most vulnerable families can come, chat to other families, the children can come, they can play, they get a hot meal. And, it's just a really lovely event once a week. So I went along to this Grub Hub on a Thursday. And I'm not ashamed to say that on the way home, I actually cried. I was absolutely saddened by the level of poverty that I saw. Some of these families were really, really clearly living in extreme poverty. probably one of the children that particularly sticks in my mind is a little girl. She was about 5 and she didn't have a coat. And this was obviously leading up to Christmas, so very, very cold outside. She didn't have a coat. And when I looked down at her feet, Mum had to cut the top of her trainers off because her feet had obviously overgrown. She couldn't afford any new ones. So on the way home, I was really, really upset. That was just one of the things that I saw. And I thought, I've got to do something. So that's how the idea was born. I started off at Hinchinbrook, small little hospital, much smaller than Peterborough. But I started off with the idea of the pick a tag from the tree. And I sort of thought, oh, is this going to work, isn't it? And I probably got about 50 presents. So I was over the moon. There was such generosity. Staff, visitors, patients had picked a tag from the tree. And how it works is there's a name, as you've already alluded to, Dave, there's a name and an age on the tag. People take that tag and buy a present for that child. And then we match it up with. Now, I will be honest, the names on the tags are not real because some of the children have really unique names.
Sure.
And obviously we absolutely want to keep it anonymous and, respect people's privacy. So, but what I can assure you is that that present goes to a child of that exact age, and it will be a child in need. So I have to mix some of the names up just to protect people's identity. But anyway, I got about 50 presents. I got this massive, almost life-size cuddly dinosaur that had all sorts of outings. Someone had pictured it in their open-top car, and that was given to a child who was absolutely over the moon with it. Someone had bought a guitar, a proper guitar in a case with a lesson book. So I think that went to a 10-year-old boy. Probably from that first year, the standout present that I received, very generously donated, was a tablet.
Right.
Just a small unbranded tablet. And that actually went to a 16-year-old boy who had been sadly kicked out of home, living in a hostel, didn't have any family that he could go and visit. So he was completely alone on Christmas Day, feeling pretty hopeless, I can imagine. And he opened this tablet and had a kind of restored faith that someone had taken the time and care, money, to get a complete stranger, essentially, a present. Now, he, as soon as the youth hostel opened, he went to that youth hostel, charged his tablet, put it in the case, took his tablet, asked for some help, and he actually managed to apply for a job and write a CV on that tablet. And he then successfully got that job.
Oh, wow.
I don't know any further updates than that. I have been trying to track him down, but unfortunately I haven't been able to, but I will keep trying. It still makes me slightly emotional to talk about it because I think that person changed that young man's life, and who knows the difference it made. It may have completely changed his course. Who knows? So from that first year, it grew and grew and grew, and we were able to support more groups. And then I think about 3 or 4 years in, Hinchinbrook merged with Peterborough Hospital. So then I had a bit of a worrying time thinking, oh, are Peterborough going to give me the same response? They didn't disappoint. And last year was the first year that I got Stamford on board as well. So it has got absolutely massive. And that is thanks to the amazing support of the local communities far and wide. And I'm never, ceased to be amazed by the generosity, the kindness of people, donating. And I think last year, and it's obviously very difficult for me to give an absolute number on presents, but I think we donated about 5,000 presents.
Oh, wow.
So from that 10 years ago, we donated about 5,000 presents. And these presents, because of people's generosity and because of the growth of the Giving Tree, we've been able to, every year, to support more and more and more groups in Peterborough, in Huntingdon, in Lincolnshire. So some of the groups that we support, so like I said, sort of 16 to 18-year-olds living in youth hostels, and sometimes we even go a little bit higher than that, if someone's going to be on their own at Christmas. We support the domestic abuse refuges. So sometimes women, and I do caveat that with accepting that it does happen to men as well, but predominantly the refuges are women's refuges. Sometimes they leave with children with just the clothes on their back because they've had to get out in an emergency situation. So they have no money. They're obviously essentially in protective hiding. They can't work. They have no access to funds. Therefore, they have no money to buy Christmas presents. So we provide for all of the children in the refuges. We also provide for some of the children that the domestic abuse workers are working with, some of those families that are struggling as well, because that can obviously be a source of escalation, if you like. We support children in care in children's homes that again haven't got their family around them. We, through the hospital, we've started, and this has kind of grown over the last couple of years, we've started to support those children where parents might be suffering cancer. Some of them are even terminal. So, it might be their last Christmas with their children. And I'm trying to actually organise, in conjunction with one of the companies at the hospital, a big Christmas party for our families that are suffering with cancer, and a Christmas party for those children. Obviously, as you know, as one of the schools that has chosen to participate, we provide for schools. So they identify their most top sort of vulnerable families, those most in need, and we provide from them. And I think last year we were able to offer kind of even more. So I think and I have to say credit to my daughter, because it's got so big that she has helped me with that, and she's been a massive help. She organises me with military precision, I can tell you. She's the polar opposite to me, so she keeps me in check, and she says, "Mum, come on, I need to sort this out." So she's taken on the schools, and she's done an amazing job of that. And we were able to go out and say, actually, we've got enough presents to support. And I think this year we're going to be able to support even more families in the schools, and hopefully get even more schools on board as well. So that's just a few of the projects. There is so many for me to even list here, but they're the kind of main ones, and we're kind of expanding out in terms of area.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's two things I want to say to you, Natalie. Firstly, thank you for supporting a small number of children at our school. Poverty can hit all over. All sorts of things go on in families. So on behalf of all of the staff and the trust, thank you for all you do. That's the first thing I want to say to you. Secondly is, we hear all, folks, this is for you listeners, we hear all sorts of people get awards, OBEs and MBEs and whatever. And I think, I look at down the list, I think, why have they got it? Just for being famous, just for being in a particular program. And I think that you got paid for that, And I think that really the award system should be for people like you.
Thank you.
I really do.
I don't know about that.
It's true. I mean, I seeing something like you saw when you all those years ago, 10 years ago, seeing that, it has a big impact, doesn't it? I mean, I remember. I suppose it's a bit like the Ralph McTell Streets of London thing, that I worked in Bradford for a while as a community worker. And it was inner city, there was great need there, all sorts of children going through all sorts of problems. And one day we got a letter from Ilkley Moor, and they said their parish council. And Ilkley Moor, you know, that's the song Ilkley Moor Bartat, that it's a very, very wealthy village. And they said, have you got any children that could do with some new toys? And we said, we've got, you know, we would love to take round some new toys to some of the children. And they turned up just before Christmas with 2 minibuses full up with these new toys. And they said, make sure it goes to those that are most in need. And like you, Natalie, I sat there and cried, because it was like watching the children watching the parents take the toys for the children. It was like we was handing out Brinks Mac gold. It was, you know, literally were touching the very need. So if anyone deserves an award, it's people like you to be inspired to do the work that you do. So a second thank you on behalf of all of the parents and all of the children who are going to receive a gift through your amazing work, and your daughter Sophie. It is Sophie, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is, yeah.
And your daughter Sophie. Will you pass on our thanks to her too, because you are doing amazing work, and I've got around me, folks, and Natalie can see this, I've got around me toys that my grandparents bought me. And they bought them for me 65 years ago. And they're still in my mind and on my shelf to remind me of how much love was shared that particular Christmas way back in the early 1960s. Now, children are going to get presents through Natalie's hard work, and it's going to make their Christmas. And they'll remember that, I'm sure, for many years to come. So thank you for all you do, Natalie. Thank you. Now, it would be nice to think that you and Sophie do the whole thing and everything all works like clockwork and everything's okay. But of course, you need the toys, and you need us to step up to the mark and provide you with the very things that you're handing out. You can't afford to buy everybody a toy. So how do you want to take this? Do you want to say a particular appeal, bearing in mind to our listeners?
Yeah, so there's loads and loads of ways that people help, and that's and can support, and that is the beauty of it. So I am incredibly mindful that this is a very difficult time for people. And sometimes I know people would love to help, and people have said to me, I'd love to give more, but I simply can't afford it. Do you know what? That doesn't matter one little bit to me. Sometimes people that are in that situation can help with their time. So there is all sorts of different ways. So the 3 main ways are, I'll get out the boring bit first, but this is sometimes how people prefer, because they just want to donate money. And that is absolutely amazing. We've got a charity appeal attached to the hospital, specifically for the Giving Tree. And the beauty of that is that sometimes people haven't got children and they just don't know what to buy, and they say, do you know what, I'd rather give you money. And the beauty of that is that some age groups we particularly struggle with. The teenagers, even I would say the kind of 8 to 9 plus are quite a difficult age group to buy for. So if I'm short of a particular present, because what I never know year on year is what kind of families I'm going to get referred in. You know, I could get a family with 1 child in it, I could get a family with 6 children, and we have to make it all equal. So if I've got a particular family and I think, I haven't actually got a present for that 11-year-old boy, the money allows me to go out and get a present for that 11-year-old boy. The other way is, and I know you're going to share all these details,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Dave, so I will send them to you, is that I've got an Amazon wish list. So I have put on this Amazon wish list. It's very extensive. So, there's gifts on there for all ages, right from babies to teenagers, boys, girls, all sorts of different gifts. And also, more importantly, probably all sorts of different prizes. So I put sticker books on there that are probably £2. And when I receive them, it's as much to me as if someone spent, I have about a cap of about £25 because I think that's sufficient. But it means as much to me because it's the thought, it's the fact that someone has donated. And those sort of presents, the smaller little gifts, the little card games, the sticker books, are really nice to go together with a main present. So I'm always grateful to receive those. So sometimes I'll receive 10 sticker books. It doesn't matter because they will all go out to different children. So that's absolutely fine. So yeah, the Amazon wish list, which I'll share the QR code with you. And then also there are trees at all 3 of our hospital sites. So Peterborough, Hinchinbrook and Stamford. So if you want to, you can go and pick a tag with a name and an age and buy a gift for that child. And some people love doing that. And I've seen the most amazing gifts bought, really, really thoughtful gifts. Some people have said to me that they've got their own children involved in buying a gift for that choice. So for that child. So those children have had that joy as well. And it's nice to teach that lesson about giving to other children less fortunate. So people have said to me, oh my goodness, Nat, I have no idea what to buy at all. So I don't want to pick a tag because I wouldn't know what to get. So that's where the Amazon wish list or the monetary donations come in. So they are the different ways. If you want to go out and buy a present, but don't have time to get the tag, you can equally just drop off the present to any 3 of the hospital sites, and we will make sure it gets kind of matched up as well, so with a child in need. So yeah, they are the ways that you can donate. As I say, it's the thought that counts, and if people really can't afford anything, then I will publicise nearer the time. I've got a Facebook page when the wrapping date will be. So we have a wrapping date. It will be on a Saturday. Provisionally at the moment it's the 13th, but I don't want to sort of lock that date in just in case, because I will share proper details on my Facebook page. But that's where we get all of the presents in. It's a really, really fun day. People come in Christmas jumpers. We have some Christmas music, some mince pies, some chocolates, and literally the whole hall is filled with all of the presents. And then I have the list, the master list of all the families, obviously all anonymised. And then people pick up a family and go around picking gifts for that child. So people get so much joy. Some people say, I wouldn't have a clue what to pick, so just put me in charge of wrapping. I'll get the gifts and I'll wrap them for you and bundle them all up. And then obviously it's a mass kind of operation of then getting them out to the right schools, refuges, children's homes, youth hostels, and people come and collect, we deliver. So yeah.
Wow.
It's a great day.
Wow.
I'm not sure that we're going to get it all done in one day this year. So I'm thinking we might have to organise another one. But again, details will be shared nearer the time.
Oh, Natalie, that is amazing. That is just amazing. You've organised this all yourself, you and your daughter. That is just amazing. And I reckon, kids, I know there's children who listen to this as well. I know for a fact that Santa's probably listening to this podcast, because I know he listens, and he's probably quaking in his boots because I've found someone who's just as good as Santa. You bring joy and happiness to families that are really, really struggling, and that's what it's all about at this time of year. Let's think about the people who can't afford the things that we have, or children that are experiencing things that they shouldn't experience. And here's something from Natalie and from this wonderful scheme. Now, what we're going to do is, on the front cover of the podcast is the QR code. So you can't say, I can't find the QR code. If you look on the podcast cover, it'll be on it. So all you've got to do is just flash your phone at your tablet or however you're watching it, and you can just get straight involved in this fantastic scheme. Thank you for today. It's been marvellous. Have you got a website or anything that you want to mention before we go?
Yeah, so just one last thing before I go. I will just, I know this was my idea, my scheme, and I suppose I don't like to accept the the gratitude too much, because I think this would nowhere near be possible if it wasn't for the support. Even yourself, Dave, and the schools joining in and giving me this opportunity, which I'm really, really grateful for. But the people that help in such small and big ways is just amazing, and wouldn't be anywhere near possible if it wasn't for them. But I know I've already mentioned Sophie. My family are incredibly supportive. My husband drives me up and down delivering presents. He never minds. And my youngest daughter, as I said, is always involved, and she's going to help me with getting with the times a bit more and getting a bit more social media. And I'm going to be doing this year, I don't think I should have all the joy of unwrapping the Amazon parcels that come from the gift tree. So what I'm going to be doing, it's going to be really exciting, is I'm going to be actually doing some live unboxing so that people can actually see what I'm getting.
Wow.
See who it's come from, because I'm so grateful when I receive it and I'm like, oh my God, that's such an amazing present. And I want to share that. So I'm going to be doing some live unboxing. I've got a Facebook page, which again I'll share the link for. Hopefully I'll be sharing some more links to other social media platforms. The hospital is probably the best place, because they're going to showcase a whole page with how you can give, all of the information, some pictures, some amazing kind of stories and things like that. And the only other person I want to mention, which I absolutely wouldn't be able to do it without, is my colleague at the hospital called Sharon Carey. She has been with me the last few years, and she is by my side, also helping to organise me, because it has grown so big. I could not do it alone. I'm already thinking this year, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I will get there. But I just wanted to mention her as well, because I don't want to take all the glory.
Well, and thank you to all of the hospitals, and particularly as we approach Christmas, thank you for all you do, all you who work in hospitals, whether you're one of the medical staff or the support teams, whatever you do fantastic work, and we thank you for that. Natalie, thank you for your time today. Folks, if you want to catch up on any of these links that Natalie's mentioned, double click on this podcast and it'll open up to all of the links. So you're just one click away from this wonderful scheme and how you can become more involved. Or you could just use the QR code, which is on the front of the podcast, and that will help you. Thank you for all you do again. Natalie, may you carry on doing this wonderful work. And thank you to all your family too, because it is a big thing. I too drive my wife, but Mrs. Waters would say that the only thing I drive is drive her mad. But thank you for all you do. And to everyone who's listening, have a fantastic Christmas. And we'll be back on Thursday with a brand new episode.
Sadly, our Christmas episode has come to an end. Eddie, the Dogsthorpe Infant School well-being dog, wishes you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
His name is Eddie Edster, he's a well-being dog, and he's here at Dogsthorpe School. He's such a little cutie, wagging his tail, and the kids all think he's cool. He makes them feel safe, he's great for mental health, he gives them confidence confidence from his very self. Not talking about money, but he brings so much wealth. He's Eddie Edster, the well-being dog. His name is Eddie Edster, he's the well-being dog, and he loves Christmas time. Lazing round the home, chewing on a bone, Eddie thinks it's fine. The children will be looking out for Santa Claus, but also giving high fives to Eddie's paws. Let's all thank Eddie with great applause. It's Eddie Edster, the well-being dog. It's Eddie Edster, the well-being dog. It's Eddie Edster, the well-being dog.
Dogsthorpe Infant School is part of Hampton Academies Trust.